Alright guys, welcome back to another video. If you guys are new here, please make sure to subscribe. Helps me out, helps these videos get out to more people and a broader audience. So, as you guys can see by today's title, I have a different boat that I'm going to be using next year and for this fishing season in the marsh. And I got rid of the 14-foot boat that you guys have seen in other videos. And behind me sits a Lund 1260. So it's a super wide 12-foot boat. It's a V bottom to a flat bottom in the back. And this thing's going to be perfect for what I want it for. I don't need two outboard boats. I built a smaller 12-foot boat that you guys have seen in other videos, and I'll link it up here if you guys want to watch that little build. But this boat is a little more stable and rugged than the other boat. This actually has a casting deck that my cousin put in before he gave it to me. And I have made some upgrades to it, and I put my mud motor on there that you guys saw in that other video. So I'm going to show you guys around this boat, and then we're actually going to take it and dump it into my new pond, which is a lot bigger than my old pond. And I should be able to at least see if I can get this thing on plane and then test out the trolling motor. So let's get into it. Start in the front and work our way back. So I just built this trolling motor bracket platform for the front of the boat. It's just a piece of 3/4 inch wood, and then I self-tapped it to the rails, and it's really solid. It should be able to hold this 40-pound trolling motor no problem. This is a 40-pound older style Minn Kota trolling motor. Let's see if we can get it unhooked here. So it just drops down super easy like that. And it is a all-terrain 40-pound thrust. I traded this for an old Johnson motor that I had, and it works just fine. The pedal is mounted down here, so she's working just fine. I think I can adjust the depth of this because it sits probably about 8 inches below the boat, which is just fine for what I need to use it for. This casting deck flips up, and so there's a battery box down here, life jackets, anchor. There is a paddle in there. I've also got one back here, and I'll probably be putting some other stuff in here, but there's plenty of room, and this thing's super solid. My cousin built it really nicely, and I'm excited to see how well it supports me. Moving on, this is a Hook 4X, and I still need to clean up the wiring for that, but everything's mounted on it. That's going to connect to the same deep cycle battery, but that at least has speed and depth. So it's sonar, and it has GPS without maps, so it'll at least give you a path of where you've gone, but it just doesn't show any structure. And then back here you can see where it goes flat in the back, and it is a V in the front. And it should draft pretty shallow. It's a wider boat. It's actually rated for 3 people. And my cousin said that him and his buddy fished off of it no problem. It doesn't shake a bunch. And we should be able to fit quite a bit of at least gear in here when we're hunting, and then it should move pretty well without much weight in it. And then back here we got a Mud Skipper mud motor, 6.5 horse Predator motor from Harbor Freight, and I believe it's a 88-inch shaft. So we are good to go. I am going to try to get this thing onto the four-wheeler, and we're gonna get it in the pond, so let's go. Alright, she's in the water. We're gonna get this thing flipped around, start the engine up, test the trolling motor. Let's go. Alright. Let's test this trolling motor. It's got some spunk. Ooh. Gotta turn that down a little bit. There we go. That don't feel too bad. Alright, so I don't know if anybody else is the same way, but I have about 5 things every time I start doing something that I have to change or try to figure out to try and get something to work right every time I try and do something dumb, like put a boat in my pond with my four-wheeler. So I bought this piece a while ago, and it's an extension for the hitch, and I'm going to have to put this on to move the hitch out enough that the handle actually spins, because it's hitting the rack right now. So I'm going to do that real quick, back this in. I should be able to pull the boat onto the trailer no problem. Alright, so that went on fairly easy. Now this handle shouldn't hit when I back in. So let's get the boat pulled out. Alright guys, well, motor runs. I got it up to I think 8.5 miles an hour. I think it needs a little bit of more oil, because if I really push it in, it shuts off, and I think that's that low oil cutoff. So I'm either gonna have to look into like disconnecting that or jumping it, or just see if it works when I fill it up with more oil. I don't have any right now, or I would have tried it while I was out there. Trolling motor works great. I think I need to shore up that front bracket a little bit, because when it's on full go, it starts to bend a little bit, which I can live with because my last boat did the exact same thing and it worked for 5 years with no issues. The graph works great. That's going to be really nice in the river to figure out, you know, how deep we're running, because I'm going to be taking that in some really shallow stuff. So it'll be really nice to be able to see all that, and that boat is really, really stable. I stood up in it. I think if I want to stand to drive, I have to move the handle out. But if I move the handle out and I try to sit down, it's going to hit me in the side when I try to turn. And I think that if I'm going in shallow stuff with a lot of weight, I really don't need to be standing up. I can sit down to drive and stand up when I need to see and just put my knee on the bench or something. But otherwise, that boat's ready to go. I'm pretty excited. I hope I can get that thing out here soon, go catch some pike, throw it in the marsh when there's, probably wouldn't be a really good boat to take if it's super windy. With just me in it, it was a little wobbly in the front, so I'd have to have some weight in the back, which is fine, or I just fish from the middle of the boat. Otherwise, everything was great. It was really cool being able to drop my boat into the pond with the four-wheeler. This thing is just a unit. Pretty solid Facebook Marketplace find. 240 hours on a 2001 Sportsman. You don't really find those too often. Everything had 800 to 900 hours when I was looking, but that's a different tale for a different day. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys like this video, please make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you aren't already. Check out the upcoming season 2 of the Too Many Hobbies podcast, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.